Hi, it's Dorothy Guining with Scrapbooking Quebec, and today I'm here for the Scrapbook Nerd online shop. I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to create this layout that was inspired by a sketch given to the design team. Now, you're going to see the sketch on the screen right here, but you can also find it on the Scrapbook Nerd Friends Group Facebook page. So if you're not part of that Facebook group, I suggest you check it out because it's full of inspiration. And at the end of this video, there's going to be a bit of a bonus feature. I'm often asked how I take a single page sketch and stretch it into a double page layout. I do this all the time. So I'm going to show you how I did that to this sketch at the end of this video. Here are the products I'll be using, and most of them come from the Pink Paisley Paige Evans Horizon collection. I have paper, puffy phrase stickers, 2 packs of ephemera, stamps, as well as super cool paper clips. And I bought all of these at the Scrapbook Nerd online shop. So I'm going to put a link to the shop below as well as to the products I'm using. So I did some preparation in advance, including making this frame style foundation with 3 pieces of paper, and I gutted 2 of them. And I also made 3 large rings, like on the sketch. Now to do this, I used the Creative Memories custom cutting system. This is something that I've had for probably 15 years. And to do this, I used the inside of the large circle, and I first started with the blue blade and then went around this template with the red blade. Now there are many different ways to create rings. You have electronic die cutting machines, you have manual systems, and you can also simply cut wonky rings by hand. I'm going to save those 3 circles for the complimentary page, and you'll see that at the end of this video. Around me are all my decorations. So now what I'm going to do is look at the sketch and start placing the elements on the page according to the sketch. So basically I'm going to place the rings kind of towards the right. I'm going to make a grouping of photos at the top right as well, kind of scattered. And at the bottom left, that's where the title and text will go. Now I'm not going to adhere anything to the page right yet. What I do know is that the focal point photo is going to be at the bottom right. So the photo I select for the bottom right is the photo I want to put the most emphasis on. Now for journaling, I'm going to use one of these cut apart sheets. The paper I'm using came from a paper pad, and what I did a few weeks ago actually is I took this paper pad and I kind of ripped it apart, and the cut apart sheets, I cut them apart and everything was ready to use. Actually, I organized this in a way that made me use it. So if you're interested in how I organized this material to get me going using it, there's also a video about that on my YouTube channel, Scrapbooking Quebec, and I'll put a link to that below because it may be helpful. Now what I'm doing is creating 3 embellishment clusters. The main one is going to be in and around the focal point photo at the bottom right. There's going to be a small one at the top and another one around the journaling box. So I'm using 2 packs of ephemera here. The kit comes with 2. One are all florals and the other one are just different images. So you see that tab on the side of the right hand photo, that's from the one with general images, and all the rest are the florals. And now what I'm doing is getting out those puffy stickers, the puffy phrase stickers, to find myself a title. And I find the word paradise, which is perfect for this page because I'm in a southern place and it's absolutely beautiful, and my room, it's not really a room, it's almost like a hut, has an outdoor shower and the view is the ocean. So I felt like I was in paradise here. Anyway, as you can see, I placed that title on wax paper for placement, and now that I'm happy with the placement, I snap a photo with my phone because I'm going to move everything off the page and I'm going to do some stamping on the background paper. Now I'm using just this large circle. It's like I'm making polka dots on a diagonal from the top right to the bottom left. But this stamp set also has globes. It's got a couple different globes. It's got lots of smaller elements, flowers, geotags, whatever. It's a fun little stamp set, but I'm just using the circles here. And The ink I'm using is Blushing Bride by Stampin' Up. From my stash, the color that I found that best matched these flowers was Blushing Bride. So that's why I'm using that. And once I get all of this down, I'm going to start adhering everything. But just a side note, I'm using washi tape, as you can see there. And I often do that. At this point, I wanted to stamp and kind of bleed off the page, and I didn't want to stamp on the green. So basically, I covered the paper that I didn't want to stamp with washi tape, and I find it works perfectly because it doesn't rip your paper. You still have to be careful removing it, but it really does mask what you don't want inked, so it's perfect. And now that I'm happy with everything, I'm putting everything back into position, getting ready to adhere it all to my page. And you're going to notice the video speeds up considerably as I start adhering to the page. Now, the first thing I'm going to adhere are those rings, and I want to make sure that they're scattered a bit because I want to be able to see all 3 pattern papers, but I still want them to be kind of like one ring, if that makes any sense. And now what I'm doing is I'm scattering my 3 photos towards the top right-hand corner. Again, the focal point being at the bottom right. Now I'm adhering 2 of the photos, and the third one, the focal point, I put on foam adhesive, but I didn't remove the backing quite yet because I want to adhere the ephemera and decorations underneath the photo first. The adhesive I used on the top 2 photos is more forgiving, meaning it's still permanent, but I still have a bit of a grace period where I can lift the photo and add things underneath, but that foam adhesive is much more immediate. That's why I left the backing on it. I continue adding the decorations, and you're going to notice some of the pieces I add foam adhesive. I find it adds interest and dimension to the page, to the clusters, and I like the look. What does start bothering me is that trapped white space between the journaling box and the photo cluster. So at one point, in a minute, I'll probably do it in a second, I actually get my stamp out again and I stamp another polka dot there. And eventually, at the end of the video, I actually move the photo on the left down about 1/4, maybe 1/2 inch. When I stamp a background page, I prefer to start light and add to it. For example, I would rather add to my stamping, but like I would rather not stamp enough and have to add than stamp too much, because if you stamp too much, it's kind of too late. I'm playing around with those puffy stickers again, but I opt not to use them. All I do is add a paper clip to that photo, and that's it. So now we're landed at the bonus feature of this video. So as you can see, I created a double page spread starting with a single page sketch. And the first thing I did was recuperated those circles from the first page to create a double photo mat with 2 of the circles. And then with the other one, I cut out some smaller rings. That's the green rings you see. And I also cut out some more rings with that white text paper just because I had a scrap on my desk. So now I have 3 large circles across 2 pages, and 3 is a great design principle to use. And another design principle, repetition. So basically I repeated a lot of the elements from the first page onto the second one I made. I have a frame style foundation on both of the pages. I used the same collection of decorations, although I made mainly 1 large grouping on that page on the left. And also I stamped those polka dots. So now my polka dots start at the top left, go right through the photo, up onto the next page, through the journaling, up through those 3 photos. So they literally guide the eye across the 2 pages. So you just saw the 2 pages that I created, including the one from the sketch, and you'll see them now, both of them together. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a comment. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the Scrapbook Nerd YouTube channel and check out their shop. The link is below. They have tons of beautiful products and great service. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.